So I'd like to call the May 21st, 2024 Planning Board meeting to order. And I need to ask if anyone in the audience is recording other than LCAT. No one. Okay. I know that's next, number 2. Okay. Number 2, the roll. So on Zoom, we have Russell Denver. Then in person, we have, say your own name.
Keith Bunderson.
Bill Fonseca.
Rob Terrell.
And myself, Cassandra Cherswell.
And Rob.
Oh, and Rob, our new director.
Rob Wachilla.
And Rebecca. I feel like I'm directing this way. Okay, moving on to the approval of the minutes from the May 7th, 2024 open session minute.
Motion to approve the May 7th, 2024 open session minutes.
I would actually like to make a motion to amend the minutes or entertain a motion.
Second first.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
I said so moved.
Okay. So now I would like to make a motion to amend the minutes. On the 3rd page, under the planning board generated following conditions, the first bullet point should instead read place and enforce no parking signs on Susan Street and Norden Street. And then the last bullet point should instead say place and enforce no parking signs on both sides of Melwood Ave. Would anyone like to?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor by roll?
Aye.
Yes. Yes.
You already said it.
Yes.
And I'm an aye as well. So now approve the minutes as a whole. Okay.
Make the motion to approve the minutes as amended. Second.
Russ?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
The new business, Mr. Clerk. Number 4.
Case SD-D-2023-01, request for consideration of performance bond surety and covenant for Oakwood Estates, applicant Thomas L. Beretta, 32 Eastwood Drive, Wilbraham, Mass. 01095. He's here.
Okay.
He's there. I see him.
I know, but he declined. Let's try him again. Oh, Rob wants to do it.
Say anything.
Who's going to do this?
Rob, will bet.
What are you doing?
I don't know what do you mean? Do I have to make the motion now? Do I have to come in?
You have somebody coming up, right?
Yeah.
Be on to present.
It's gotta be somebody here
Coming out. There he is.
Yeah.
Have a discussion.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
We hear you?
Jesse, does he a minute down?
Chris?
Good evening. For the record, Rob Levesque from our Levesque Associates. Sorry, I was on, but I wasn't in, I guess. So I'm here to answer any questions you may have. Mr. Beretta's attorney has prepared, I believe, the requisite documents for the security on the subdivision. And again, I'm here to answer any questions, but I believe Attorney Jim Mira had put that together, and I had been working with the administration on that as well.
Are there any questions from the board?
Got the communication from the DPW saying that the Public Works has prepared the bond calculation for Oakwood Estates with references to the definitive subdivision land dated 3/6/2024. So I see no problem with it. We're good.
I have a question. So Rebecca, is the town okay with this proposal?
Yeah, what we're seeing is that there is a requirement to put up a performance bond, and part of the performance bond is going to be met by putting the properties in the subdivision into a covenant, and then the remaining balance is covered by the irrevocable letter of credit. So we're meeting all the performance bond standards and requirements through those 2 items.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Would anyone like to make a motion?
I move to approve the performance bond surety and covenant for Oakwood Estates.
Second.
And all those in favor by roll call? Russ?
Yes.
Aye.
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 Okay, so that measure passes.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Number 5A, Mr. Clerk?
Case ZN 2024-2 for the consideration of the amendment of the Town of East Long Meadow zoning bylaws of section 450-10.2.c. 1, striking the requirement for the planning board to review the interconnection utility notification for solar. Petitioner Town of East Long Meadow, 60 Center Square, East Long Meadow, Mass. 01028.
Do you want to explain it?
If it's under discussion, yeah. So we had brought this before the town council and to you once before, but as it's a zone change, it requires a public hearing. There was a conflict in the solar bylaw. And for small rooftop mounted solar voltaic items, there's no requirement for a notification of the utility to be presented to the planning board. But for ground mounted, there was a requirement that before the building commissioner could issue the permit, the planning board had to be notified, which is not consistent with the rooftop. And in any case, the utility has to be notified in order to get electricity to the item, the solar array anyhow. So it's creating a redundancy, an inconsistency, and another sort of layer of bureaucratic red tape where it's really not necessary. So we want to just clean it up by striking that requirement.
It's also something we have no idea about. Exactly.
It was really just to provide you with a letter that says the utility has been notified that there's a hookup here. The building commissioner, I think, is more than qualified to
Right.
say, we understand that
I agree.
it's been submitted.
So this is a public hearing, so I'd like to open the public hearing. If anyone has any comments?
I make a motion to continue the public hearing to, wrong one.
No. I'm going to make a motion to close it since there's no discussion. Is there any discussion in the board?
No? Anyone else?
I make a motion to close the public hearing. Rob?
Second.
By roll call, Russ?
You brought it. Oh,
No, he's
He's still moving.
Me?
You didn't ever say something?
No, he
No.
hasn't. Okay, back to him.
Get back.
Aye.
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 There he is.
Would anyone like to make a motion on this matter?
An affirmative motion to recommend is probably in order.
Make a motion to endorse the request to remove, excuse me,
Yeah.
section 450-10.2, section 1 of the zoning bylaw to have it reviewed by town council for their consideration.
Second.
By roll call vote, Russ?
Aye.
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 Russ?
Wi-Fi.
Russell Denver?
Now he looks frozen.
He looks frozen.
That's okay.
It passed anyways. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine.
All right.
And Rob, just to be clear, because we have a member online, they are roll call votes. It's not just a unanimous.
Okay, thank you.
Next item?
All right. B case ZN 2024-03 for consideration of the amendment of the Town of East Long Meadow zoning map, business zone parcels 28A-1-53 and 28A-7A-A and 28A-7-50 and 28A-6A-B. I'm going to do this. 28A-8-49 and 28A-9-47 and 28A-10-46 to become industrial zone parcels, commercial zone parcels 28A-13-37, 28A 12 39 and 28A 11 41 to become industrial zoned parcels. Petitioner Wellington CSA Holdings LLC, 11254 Marina Bay Road, Wellington, Florida, 33449. Applicant has submitted a request to withdraw this item. All that for nothing.
Do we even have to open the public hearing?
Right.
The request is
It's
withdrawn.
withdrawn. No.
And withdrawn.
Yeah, you don't have to open it.
So.
Uh,
You have to vote
Because it's
to,
withdrawn, that's
yeah.
right.
so you basically have to vote to withdraw.
Can I get a motion on this matter?
I make a motion to grant the withdrawal for the petition ZN 2024-03 without prejudice.
And I'll second.
All right, all those in favor, Russ?
Aye.
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 Matter passes. I'd like to ask for a motion to take letter D out of order first.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor by roll, Russ?
Aye.
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 Aye. Right. Ready?
Yep.
Case SP 2024-06, request for special permit for At Ease Energy, a massage therapist at 280 North Main Street. Subject parcel ID 14-12-F located in the commercial zoning district. Applicant Amy Pearson, 46 Cedar Hill Road, East Long Meadow, Mass. 01028.
Is here? Do you wanna come up to the table and sign in and then tell us a little about your application?
I've been licensed to do massage for about 14 years now and looking to open an establishment here in East Long Meadow.
It's in the regular 280 building, so
Yeah.
your hours.
Basically, Monday through Saturday, 7. Actually, Wednesday's an admin, so I won't be really taking clients on Wednesday.
Any other employees?
No, just myself.
Well, it's a public hearing, so
Uh,
are there any comments from the public at all? No, hearing none. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
All those in favor by roll call? Russ?
Aye.
Pete?
Aye.
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 Okay, the public hearing is closed. Are there any more questions from the board? No, so do I have a motion on this matter?
Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
Do you guys want to still any conditions since it's a special permit hearing? Is there anything you think
No.
should be
For her
required?
business?
Yeah.
No.
No?
No,
Okay.
we're good.
Places bill for us all. Make a motion to approve the request for the special nope, sorry. Make a motion to. Where the heck am I? Oh, my God. Are you done? We're out of order. I make a motion to approve the request for special permit for a massage therapy facility at Ease Energy, 280 North Main Street, parcel ID 14-12-F.
I'll second.
All right, by roll call vote, Russ?
Yes.
Aye.
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 Well, that matter passes.
Look.
Okay.
That's like, yeah.
I'm back.
C,
Okay, C. SB 2024-05, request for a special permit for Little Caesar's Pizza, a restaurant at 626 North Main Street. Assessor's parcel ID 1-17-49, located in the business zone in Sam Berry, 10-7 Ames Ave, Springfield, Mass. 01104.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
hello. Could you explain a little bit about your application for us? And for the
Yes.
audience?
Yes, I've been a Little Caesars franchisee for about 16 years. We have 6 locations in Massachusetts and 2 in Connecticut. I'm sorry, this would be our 6th location in Massachusetts, and I have 2 in Connecticut. So I'm seeking to open up in East Long Meadow And hopefully, in the future, we could probably open up another one as well. Little Caesars has been around for just about 55 years now. It's a national brand, and hopefully we can open up in your town.
Before we move on any further, I would like to disclose that I live on Van Dyke Road, and I contacted Rebecca this morning, and through her suggestion, I contacted the Ethics Commission and filed the proper paperwork declaring no financial interest in this matter whatsoever so that I can actively participate and vote on this matter.
Thank you. Okay. Are there any questions from the board?
Public hearing.
Yes, it's a public hearing. So
Yeah,
like,
so I have a question before we open it to the public.
Yeah.
So you haven't really given us a lot about what your anticipation operation of the facility, of the business is going to be, hours of operation, number of employees, is it just going to be delivery? So I think we want a lot more from you than just, the cursory information you gave us.
Sure. So we will be open from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Friday. Actually 7 days a week, depending on the business. Sometimes we'll stay open till 11 p.m. We do usually have anywhere from 4 to 6 employees per shift. So on schedule, we should usually keep about 15 to 20 employees. There will be a manager on site. I do have a district manager, and then I do visits to the stores as well. So the operation is not a dine-in. It's strictly delivery and carry-out only. So about probably 60% of our business is delivery, and the other 40% would be carry-out. Our transition times is probably about 3 to 5 minutes, because we're hot and ready. So that means that the customer comes in, orders the pizzas that are on the menu. And if it's a specialty pizza, it's about a 5 to 7 minute wait. If it's hot and ready, then it's like 30 seconds. So we average about 3.5 minutes.
And how often are there deliveries to the site, and where will the deliveries take place?
So I'm sorry, to the site?
So where will the deliveries to your store, your product delivery?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we will get it once a week, and it would be delivered into the back. Pepsi, we usually get them once every 2 weeks, and I always request them to bring it to the back. However, Pepsi's a very small vendor. We get probably 25 cases a week, so hopefully they'll listen and bring it to the back.
And where do you anticipate your employees parking while they're on shift?
So the parking lot is big enough. We only probably have 2 to 3 employees that will probably drive there. Most of our people, our crew is like teenagers and college students, so they'll either be dropped off by their parents and so on. But our managers will have cars, so usually there'll be 2 to 3 cars occupying the parking lot for us. The rest, again, are all teenagers and stuff that usually are dropped off by their parents.
Thank you.
Where exactly in the Pride Plaza is this store going to be located?
Right next to JB's Ice Cream, right next door, actually. It used to be the old computer PC repair shop.
All right. Have you done anything as far as the impact that this will have on the traffic in this area, which is already heavily congested?
So due to the nature of our business, it's not dine-in. So I don't see any kind of traffic other than the DoorDash coming up, picking up their orders and leaving. We probably do 40 to 50 online orders a day, and we do probably about maybe 20 to 25 pickups. So it's about 100 customers per day throughout that time period. So your biggest amount of customers come in usually from the hours of 4 to 9, which is 5 hours. And that's where the majority of the rush hour and everything comes in. So it's not a big rush, with the customers coming in. It's spread out 4 or 5 hours. And you probably get, 8, 9, 10 orders per hour.
So you don't feel that there'll be an impact on an already congested area? Is that what you're saying?
So if it was a dine-in, I'd probably say so, but because it's many different ways that customers will pick up their orders through DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, customers themselves just coming in, dashing out. So yes, I don't feel it would be an issue.
But it still impacts the traffic. I'm sorry. You're talking about a very heavily congested area, and you're not addressing the impact that it will have on the traffic. They exit by Pride. Do not stop. Okay? Come up Van Dyke Road. There are little kids living on this street. Okay? And you're not addressing any of these issues. All you're saying is your door dashers or whoever are going to scoot in and scoot out. That is going to have an impact on the traffic because they're in a hurry to deliver your product as fresh and hot as possible. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. I think there should be something done to address the traffic issues because it will have an impact.
I agree with your concern. I just I'm trying to categorize it as the same as like JB's ice cream. I'm not sure how big of a traffic day would be, but when we went there and we've seen it, I looked at many different ins and outs. So you're talking about the Pride off of the side. I'm not from the area, from like exactly from the area.
There's access off of Van Dyke, there's access off of North Main, and there's access off of, what's the other one? Thompson.
Yes.
But they don't use Thompson, they use Van Dyke, and that's heavily congested. Yeah. Now, the other problem is, you said you're going to get your deliveries once a week from Pepsi, let's say, or every other week.
Yes.
Now, there is very little delivery area in this plaza. So if Pepsi shows up at 9 o'clock on a Friday with their delivery for not only your business, but Pride, and they park in the parking lot, and Coke shows up 15 minutes later, guess what? They're parking in the street. There's no access for public vehicles down the street with a tractor trailer parked there.
There is access in the rear though, right?
There is access in the rear, but they don't use it.
Well, then they should be demanded to use it.
Well, I mean, there's a whole other host of issues here because the traffic in that area is a nightmare.
I know it is.
And I'm concerned about, again, drivers coming, DoorDash, whoever.
It's going to be quick. That's what's going to be.
It's going to be quick, but it's still going to have an impact on the traffic.
I know, but it's going to be quick and dangerous. That's what I'm getting.
Well,
at.
okay.
Fly in, fly out, fly in, fly out.
In an already dangerous area.
Yeah.
I'm not anti-business, but I think the traffic needs to be addressed. I really do. I'm sorry. I've seen too many cars zooping up and down that street, and it's getting worse. Again, I think something needs to be done to address the traffic. And if we need to bring the Pride people in, then we bring the Pride people in. But I'm not sure that I can honestly vote on this tonight because we don't have a lot of information, because I think the traffic will definitely be impacted here.
We have some issues also.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are other issues.
Read them or you want me to?
I'll read them. This is a communication from the DPW again. It says, I reviewed the plans and have the following comments. Does this facility have an automatic dishwasher? If so, does it contain an internal backflow device? I could not find a definitive answer on the interior plans. 2, does this facility require a grease trap? Don't know if it does. We have had issues with this subdivided commercial building in regards to metering water. The DPW would like to gain access to the property to see how the water be metered for this particular unit. So we have those we have to get an answer for first also.
Sure. So what was the first topic on there? The
automatic dishwasher,
Dishwasher.
and does it have an internal backflow device?
Okay, so we do not have an automatic dishwashers, hence there is no dishes to be washed. So we just have our utensils. We have a 3-compartment sink. So our utensils consist of like grippers to grab the pan. Those pans are like Teflon, so that they don't get washed. If they get washed, then they get ruined. So what we do is at the end of each night, we wipe them down. And then the only other thing that we wash is literally 2 pans that we use for our bread making. Those are stainless steel, so those can be washed. There's 2 of those, and then just the hand utensils, the cutters, the cutting boards, our machines like the stainless steel augers, all that stuff that could not even be put in a dishwasher, that have to all be hand washed in the 3-compartment sink. So therefore, that's why we don't have a manual washer.
Do you require a grease trap? Have you spoken to the health department?
Yes, I have actually. I spoke with Alex, and we presented to her what kind of grease trap we will be installing under the sink grease trap. And so she said that, you know, that was fine.
Number 3, they want to gain access to see how the water's going to be divided up. I personally would have to wait for an answer on all 3 of these before I'd even think about recommending this.
Yep.
From the Department of Public Works. I mean, I appreciate your explanation, but I need to hear about it from the Public Works to say that they signed off and everything's okay.
Sure. But there is access to the building. We do have a lockbox on there, so I can leave it. I can leave the number with anybody, or anybody. I can meet you out there. There's access to the building.
You got to meet the DPW, then they have to give us a letter saying everything was met, all the orders are met, and then we would vote on it.
Sure.
Thanks.
Did you receive a copy of this via email? These questions and concerns that
From the health
from the
department
health department?
and the water and sewer administrator?
Did you receive a copy of that? Did you receive an email?
Yeah. Was it the last? Yes. The last 3 questions. Yes.
Okay. Just checking to make sure that you received it.
Yes.
Any other questions from the board?
Say, I just counting the parking spots here, right? So take the traffic out of the equation, right? Which we've already discussed. I think I'm counting 48 spots up front, right? So there's a potential for 8 businesses. Maybe I'm miscounting because I think Pride expanded, but you know, I'm familiar. I think there's one, a Little Caesars on Boston Road as well, and that's a much different layout, right? So and I don't know if that's yours or not, but either way, you know, you're abutting a gas station, which literally has people driving in and out all day long, right? That's the whole purpose of the gas station, which is not at that other location. There's a hair salon, there's the ice cream place, which are somewhat benign, but there's cars that will be parked there throughout the day at various times. You also have the Redstone place next door that does drip over into this. I'm just struggling to figure out how, you know, if you have a couple employees, Door Dashers coming in, a delivery person or 2, maybe you're taking up 10 or 12 of those spots at any given time. That doesn't leave a lot of room for anything else, right? It just adds a tremendous amount of congestion. So I'll echo that. I'm not anti-business as well. I can't see logically how a second high traffic business of in and out on a regular basis next to a gas station is going to function smoothly, right? It's going to, just the parking lot itself is a concern for me. Forget Van Dyke, forget Thompson, forget Main Street. That parking lot seems like a hazard in itself. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know if Little Caesars can help or the people who own the property, but maybe Pride, you can work with them. Something in that parking lot has to be fixed again before I think I can also equally.
To address your comment, Rob, right now, people that go into Pride park in front of the building, which is a fire lane.
Right.
There's clearly marked no parking and they just park right in front of the building. So people pulling in and out of trying to get gas have a difficulty pulling out. So the parking lot, to your point, Rob, the parking lot is too small right now, and we're going to add more into it. That's why I said, I don't know if we need to bring Pride in here to discuss these issues or what, you know?
You know, if you have a coffee shop, for example, right, you have maybe a few people at any given time in there, 5, 6 is reasonable. It's not high traffic. There's not deliveries going in and out. And then, right, that brings us to the other piece of where the deliveries, the actual product would go. That adds a whole nother piece of this. I think the parking lot is the issue for me personally. So Sam, that's my feedback to you is when you come back is having some thoughts around the actual parking lot and if this is even feasible in this specific location. I just think if you've come and if you visit, if you take a look at it and you're here, we all know this area very well. It's a small spot to high traffic, theoretically high traffic business being a gas station and a in and out non-sit down pizza delivery place. Right.
And the ice cream place is wildly popular.
Right. And
Well,
into the season for the ice cream place.
we're into the summer, so
Which adds another whole piece to this.
Another layer.
If
Those
I-
are my comments.
If you just give me 1 second, so the one on Boston Road that you're referring to, that's been closed down for like 5 years. It didn't do too well there.
Yeah.
But I do own the one in Chicopee, and you guys are more than welcome to go there. There's literally like 12 spots in the whole plaza there. There's a dentist, there's a mobile home park, and then me. So if you were to see, you know, what we occupy versus what like the dentist, and that's a very high traffic area as well. It's off of Memorial Drive, and you got people like flying up and down. But anyway, nevertheless, if I'm doing about 125 to 115, 20, 30, if you divided that, I'm probably getting maybe 12 to 15, let's say 20, customers per hour. So again, they're not coming in there and spending, a bunch of time. So when you say that I might occupy 12 vehicles, I'm sorry, how did you come up with that number?
Well,
If I may interject a little, I also own a food service business here in town, and I deal with DoorDash drivers, and I see about 100, 120 customers a day. And I can tell you right now, I don't see 10 customers an hour. I know when I have my high points, like you pointed out earlier, so you're 4 to 9 o'clock. So take away the 10 people an hour, you're talking like what? 15, 20 an hour between 4 and 9, and that's also rush hour traffic instead. They don't all come evenly spaced.
that's my.
You'll get like 3, 4 every 15 minutes or so, maybe 5.
But they're
So-
not evenly spaced on a schedule. It's sporadic.
Yeah, sure, I agree with that. So yeah, I mean, they're not scheduled. And what I'm trying to emphasize is that it's not the restaurant type that you're going to get 15, 20 cars in there at one time, and then they're all going to try to leave because it's an event going on. Yes, I do agree, and I see the concern. And Little Caesars came out, and we tried to do our due diligence together, and even with the owner of the plaza, we all kind of sat there and we brainstormed and we thought about this issue, and we all didn't see a problem because it's not like a McDonald's drive-through, or we're not doing $3 million a year in business. So although I really know what you guys are trying to say, we want to keep the community safe. And the last thing that I want is accidents to happen right in front of my store. And then that would cause even more problems. So I wouldn't want to be into this business and then find out later on that it's causing more headaches for me and the city than it was even worth opening to begin with. So with the due diligence that was done between 3 reputable people, we kind of figured that it was feasible. I just still stuck on trying to figure out how you're coming up with, I'm going to occupy 12 spaces in the plaza. I just don't get it.
So here's my thought, right? So I'll paint you a picture. I'll echo Kat, so that's exactly where I was going to go with this. It's Saturday night, so it's a couple days from now. It's Saturday night. It's 6:30 at night, and you've got 12, 15 orders coming in. It's dinner time. It's Saturday night. The Redstone place across the way from you, on the other side of Thompson Street, is full. It's busy, right? Then you've got people coming in for ice cream. Maybe coming in early with kids. The Pride Station's busy because people are getting out. They're coming home from work. There are people stopping for their whatever. So now all of a sudden it's busy. DoorDashers are there. Your delivery people are there. You've got employees there because that's a prime time for you. The Pride Station is full. The people are dripping over from the restaurant there. People are stopping in for ice cream. People are still getting their haircuts at I think there's still a haircut place there. That's your peak time. So again, spread across the day. I don't see an issue with that. The thing that's scaring, I think, all of us is it's 6:30, 7 o'clock on a Saturday night in this area. That whole plaza is completely capacity.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
If it had the opposite of what you do, not an in-and-out restaurant where people are going in and sitting down, I actually think that would be a better design here because people would be going in, parking. They'd be staying in there for a while. It's not in and out, in and out, in and out. Various people and people that aren't even patrons, they're just picking up stuff and running. And they don't care anything about Little Caesars. They care about making their DoorDash money, right? So it adds a whole nother component to this fast delivery in this plaza with so much other stuff going on. I mentioned the one on Boston Road because there wasn't really much else there, right? It was granted they didn't do well. I'm just using an example. It was in a high traffic area. It was a fast main highway. This is not that. This is a very different spot, right? And even what you just mentioned in Chicopee, you have a dentist office, it's you and one other. That's very different than this. You have a gas station. That gas station is a main concern for this. That is a very, very busy gas station. Everybody's coming across that line, either coming home or going to Springfield. It's a heavily traveled area. That's my concern in here is I just don't see the parking lot working. And for all of the reasons that we're concerned, add that to the in and out traffic, that's a whole second concern as well too. So I'd say I'm not anti-business. I've just got so many concerns about how this thing lays out on 6:30 on a Saturday night, right? That's where I'm seeing.
And again, I'll state, I'm not anti-business, but there are issues that need to be addressed before I think we can move forward. And I'm only speaking as one member.
And you're really talking about the fastest traffic there is, DoorDash and those guys,
Yes.
in and out, boom,
Yeah.
bam.
Pulling through my neighborhood too, right?
I see it as a
I
preference.
agree. I agree with everyone on here, and I respect everybody's decisions. However, what's asked of me is to try to foresee the future. I'm telling you as much as I can about the business, and to me, everybody wants a humming business. Everybody wants a business that's going to produce money. But at the end of the day, if it's not going to make sense and cause a ruckus, it's not going to make sense for me either. So not just that I'm trying to get a business in here. Sure, I mean, if this doesn't seem feasible or doesn't work out, I mean, yeah, it just doesn't work out. However, I'm just trying to see, okay, well, if there's three ways in and out of this place, on the side and the main and on the side of Pride over there, and then again, if we're getting on a Saturday afternoon or a Friday, and by the way, Thursdays are not that busy for us. So you guys are right about the Friday and Saturday, between the hours of probably the main reason is probably, I want to say, between 6 and 8. That's where our rush hours are. I can present to you guys ticket counts. Whatever it takes to do our due diligence a little bit better, I can. But I need a direction of what I need to present to you guys in order for us to all be on the same page here. And we're basing it off of a 1 or 2 day business. I agree. Those are the days that we need to resolve. So don't you think that maybe if DoorDasher or a customer seeing that there's too much congestion over here, logically they would want to go the opposite way so they wouldn't cause an accident? Nobody wants to get into an accident.
Sam, I'd say I will stop after this, but I'd think of a creative idea for you, maybe to reach out to Pride, which is local, and there are people in our community who work for Pride. Have a conversation with them and say, look, this is a high traffic. The planning board had concerns about the traffic coming in and out in addition to the gas stations. Ask Pride when their busiest times are and what they see for volumes. So at your busiest times, 5 to 8 or 6, 7, whatever it is. So what are you guys also seeing for traffic coming through your gas stations at this location at that time? They say we see 150 people an hour. Then you can imagine on top of yours, we're talking 200-300 people coming through that plaza. Maybe it's not. Maybe we're making it a bigger deal. But I think you're going to be shocked at what goes through that Pride station just in itself, right? And then you can add that to your Chicopee location or any of your other ones and say, at this peak hour that we just talked about, Friday, Saturday nights, here's what we see at all of our locations. And we can take an average to that and say, look, we see 50 people an hour at this point. That's one person a minute or whatever it is. And then we can have a better feel for what traffic will be going in and out of here. It may be a fun experiment.
He said he'd give a ticket count.
Or ticket count.
Are we counting? I'm sorry. Are we counting? So the Pride, again, yeah, they're coming in, fueling, and leaving, but they're not using any of the parking spots. So how are we gonna?
Oh, they do.
Are. Yes,
Yeah,
they are.
they do.
Yeah,
They do.
They park illegally in front because the parking lot is full.
And even to add to that, even if they're just coming for gas and leaving, that's still another car going through that lot, right? That's still a body or vehicle that we can count. They fueled up, they went in the store, they didn't. It doesn't really matter. If a car goes through there and they have a sale and transaction, that would count as one. How many transactions do they have in the peak times? How many people do you have in the peak times? And maybe that's 500 people, and that's just unmanageable in this lot, right?
Why does he give us a ticket count and it'll show exactly what he does on every day?
Yes.
Well, he can't give us a ticket count in that location because it's not open.
Right.
It's not going to be the same.
It's not going to be the same because the demographics are different.
Graphics are different.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah.
it's a pretty good look at what
If we can get an average of, let's say, 5 of your busiest locations, then that might help us out a bit. But I think there's a common theme here that between the parking and the traffic, there are some concerns because we are going to be adding to what is already a heavily congested area.
So I guess we're looking for some help from you, Sam, and from the owners of the property to see how you can be creative to resolve the issues that have been presented to you this evening.
Sounds fair.
Okay, go ahead.
Wrap it up.
So Sam and members of the board, so I did take down some pretty good notes from what was discussed in terms of everybody's like concerns. So maybe after the meeting, I could reach out to you, Sam, with a list of these concerns, just so you can start that process and come back at the next meeting, whenever this is continued to, with a really good answers to a lot of the questions that are being proposed tonight.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, but this is still a public hearing.
Public hearing.
So is there anyone from the public that would like to make a statement? You can come on up and write it down.
Phone number, serial number.
The rules. Yeah.
Cheers, but it'll do. Do I have to sign in?
Yes, please.
Good evening. My name is Rolando Curtis. I'm at 23 Van Dyke. I'm directly behind the Pride Station. So I see a lot of the traffic, a lot of the people that go through on a daily basis, even the ones that don't stop. My main concern is you're saying you're having deliveries once a week. You have deliveries daily, which is a problem and a noise factor for me. Secondly, your ventilation system. At the Pride Station right now, I smell nothing but grease from the morning till the evening. So I can't even sit out on my porch.
That's a Subway there, right? Too, yeah.
And not just the Subway,
It's all
a fried chicken place in there. Now, the other third question is they also sell pizza. So you're going to have competing businesses at both ends. I get nothing but cigarette smoke from people sitting outside next to the fence. Your people, I'm sure when they take breaks, they're going to be sitting outside in the back. I'm getting secondhand smoke. Your traffic, your deliveries till 10, 11 o'clock at night, that's a noise factor. And you're going to be delivering sometimes till 11, 11:30, that's a noise factor. So I really have big concerns about the traffic behind your station. If you have delivering in the front, I have no problem with it.
Yeah, but it's supposed to go in the back, so.
Thank you.
Because of the congestion.
Not just the congestion. 4:30 in the morning, Pride has their people coming through emptying the dumpsters.
Well, we should know about that.
I've complained about it.
If,
Nobody's done a damn thing about it.
Can I just interject? They tell us to call the police department. That's very unfair.
it's not, it's,
I'm told to take pictures. To call the police
Yeah,
department.
I'm sure that was a condition and we okayed that about the dumpster being. We gotta
look at that because
look at that.
I mean, if they're doing the 4:30 in the
And they are,
we have the ability to change that.
Yes.
Let's look into that, okay?
they are extremely loud.
Yeah. No, I know.
Way to wake up.
And
Bang, bang, go
All
to
right.
the doors and all the stuff.
let me,
And then they're banging it.
Right.
To empty it.
I'll go in my full disclosure here. We are Mr. Curtis, Mr. and Mrs. Curtis's next door neighbors. So we hear just about it as much. So,
That's terrible. 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
3:30, whatever.
yeah.
And it's sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 5. But it's like the hell of a way to wake up in the morning. And it's daily.
North Main Street.
So,
Because we would have,
Yeah, but the ventilation system
sure put condition,
really needs to be looked at because
if
we
not,
are a business
You know, you're the-
cooking things.
oh God,
A ventilation system needs to be checked out to make sure that it's, meets code.
10 years ago.
I don't know what they do.
Can I share some information about that, sir?
Right ahead.
Okay, so as far as the dumpster issue, I am 100% with you. I have no other solution. We would be getting our dumpster dumped once a week. I don't know any other solution to that whole plaza. Everybody has a dumpster back there, so I really don't know. That's up to the planning board. They can address that to every other tenant in there, and we'll abide by all the rules and to make sure that the community is not at, I agree with you 100%. As far as the ventilation, we do not have a single thing in our concept that requires frying. So we don't even have a ventilation center we have something called a makeup air, and because we do baking, so that all that does is bring in fresh air from outside and blow out the hot air from the inside. So there is no smell of food, period, because we don't have fryers. We do have a BoFi XLT oven that blows very hot air and cooks the pizza that way, versus a flame or how should I say, like a fryer where the grease goes. We have no grease. And that surprises me that they even require Little Caesars to have grease traps. Maybe it's because, and I really don't know the answer to that, the grease trap, because we have no grease in our store.
All of them have to have it.
It's a local
I have
ordinance.
one.
Yeah, and we are abiding by it, but I'm just letting the gentleman know that we don't have that smell that's coming out of our ventilation system. And then back to the last concern, what you said about the deliveries. Maybe you misunderstood. So the deliveries would be made in the front. The deliveries to the store, like our food, would be delivered in the back, and that's once a week. And that is during our hours of when people are there. So they don't come in the middle of the night. It would be anywhere from 10 a.m. And then they don't deliver after 5 p.m. And I don't think they would want to come in there at 5 p.m. So usually in our stores, the deliveries are made between like 9 a.m. to like 11 a.m. And because there's not so many Little Caesars, it is scheduled, and it's usually within that time frame. They don't come during the day or in the middle of the night. Although I'm going to be honest, sometimes they do come at 11 o'clock before we close, and then but that's not 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's a problem.
We can put conditions on this. Oh, yeah. We have the
Yeah, that's not a problem, because Blue Line, the company that we get from, is owned by Little Caesars. So if Little Caesars wants to get an area open to this thing, I'm sure they would say, okay, that's fine. We'll only do it between these hours, and that wouldn't be a problem at all.
we can take care of that.
Those were my main concerns.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other comments?
I'll let Rolando get back to his feet.
Yeah.
I'm already signed in.
Just identify yourself, please.
I'm Darlene Fonseca. I'm obviously his wife and neighbor to them. I have the exact same concerns that Rolando has been expressing, in regards to, the deliveries and everything at night and everything. And I'm glad you're addressing the fact that you can control that. But my major concern is the traffic. By putting this place in and you're adding, let's say, 100 more customers coming in there per day on your busiest days, okay? That is 100 more cars that are going to be coming in and out of that parking lot. Doesn't matter which side they come out, but if they're doing DoorDash, I'm going to tell you they're going to do what half the people do coming out of that Pride station. They come speeding out. They come speeding either up our street, they come speeding out, and they'll block traffic. You can't get down the street. They don't even realize that there's people living on the street because you can't get down the street by them blocking it. You can't even go out in the road half the time because they come flying down so much. Our daughter was had a bad car accident right on the corner there. And I'm concerned that there could be more car accidents. I myself have almost been in some because of the people speeding out of that lot. If there's some way, I don't care what business is in there, but again, there is the traffic, there is the parking there. That is a major concern, and something has to be done. If this business is to go in there, something does have to be done to address the traffic coming out of the Pride Station lot there onto Van Dyke, because that is definitely a hazard. And you have people that we'll also go out where the trucks go out. So if that area, if that lane, if that driveway there is blocked, I see people come out and come out the other way. So you've got people coming out of two driveways, speeding. I'm thinking there's a way to block that off and it wouldn't affect the businesses, and see if you can get the people to go out onto North Main.
Maybe a couple speed bumps would be good. Oh, seriously,
But
very popular now.
I
I don't think you could put them in a parking lot. I don't think it would make any.
No, that's entrance, access and egress, and make you stop.
I don't even know. Pete. Not going to get it. That's a whole different subject.
This is just, that driveway, the way it's designed really causes a hazard on the street and the people coming in and out, because there's more things going on at the Pride Station. They're offering a lot more than what they used to, years ago. So consequently, there is more traffic there because they have food there, they have coffee there, they have the subway there. And then plus it's a convenience store for people to go in and get things. So it's in and out, in and out, in and out, and people are speeding down that road.
Let's go back 25 years. What used to be there? It wasn't a Pride Station. What was it?
Little Peach.
Let's go back 40.
Oh, you can go back a little bit.
I'm talking about
When it was the Emporium.
Emporium. All right.
Yeah.
Not nearly as much traffic.
Yeah.
The whole area is.
And at that time, the gas station was on the other side,
That's right.
Right.
I think the traffic count is the main problem.
I agree.
The traffic count.
Okay.
Horrible.
And that's right. And I think that's
I have
where
a
we.
question about the old computer store there. Does anybody know what their traffic count was? Because at this point, we're taking out a business, we're adding a business. So if we're taking consideration of what, my 100 customers, what was out of those 100 customers, what was the people coming in and dropping off their phones or their computers, their tablets, and coming in and picking up and leaving?
I think it was that fuel, because you're talking apples and oranges here, quite honestly. And I don't think you can compare the two, because it's entirely two different things.
He couldn't have done very well.
Yeah. No, well, I didn't want to go there.
And I mean, again, bringing it back to Pride, I mean, Pride would assumably have that traffic count. It's their plaza. They own it, I'm pretty sure. It may be
on their numbers
more for you. Again, deferring back to you, I would have a very detailed conversation with them. And maybe this isn't this exact spot that would work for you, but there is another one in town. I mean, there's other areas, right? It's not necessarily this one. It's this size of this plaza and the location. I think we're all kind of coming back to, right?
Or a question, because we're talking about parking, the bicycle and ski shop, the people also park in that Pride Station.
Yeah, they do.
So they take a lot of the spaces, especially in their peak areas, their peak times. And now we're going into bike season and bike clubs. So you're talking about another 100 slots that have been taken.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's some work to be done here, I think. And like I said, I'm not anti-business by any means, but we've got to address the concerns. Well, yeah.
I have a thought of, if there's maybe two driveways on North Main and you block off the side driveways on the side streets to keep the traffic from, but I understand that the trucks have to go through the back there for their deliveries. So perhaps you could, block access from the parking lot, with the Jersey barriers or something like that, to keep so that only the delivery trucks go in the back and people can't go scooting out the side driveways that are for the trucks. And that would eliminate traffic on, Van Dyke and on Thompson Street. Because I'm sure Thompson gets the same thing, gets a cut through to go into that plaza. And they when your Ring camera doesn't pick up the car, that means they're going too fast down your street.
Okay, so I don't think this is going to be voted on this evening.
I think we should
And I
continue
think
this.
we should continue it, so
So I will make a motion to continue the public hearing to June 18th, 2024 at 6:00 PM in the Pleasant View Senior Center.
with that,
I will second.
well, do you think that he would be able to get the information that we're requesting by that date?
And that's
Check with them.
Yeah, so before we vote on it, let's ask him if he thinks he can get that by that day.
About a month.
Yes, do you think you can get the requested information by June 18th?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so Was there a second? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. So, by roll.
What time was that?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, same time.
Okay.
Aye.
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 So this motion or this matter has been continued to June 18th at 6 p.m.
Did you second that motion by chance?
I second.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Other
Thank you.
business?
You have a new planning director.
Yes.
The way.
Welcome aboard.
It's very polite.
Yeah. Hello, my name's Rob. I'm your new planning director. So thanks for inviting me to your first meeting. I'm glad it went so quickly and smoothly. But I definitely want to, I know you guys are at a time where there's some projects coming up in town, stuff like that, and it's a lot to handle. So I'm really here just to try and make your lives a lot easier. I know you guys come from, volunteer background for this board. Like I'm in the board in South Hadley for planning board, so I understand how much time it takes to commit to that sort of thing. So, for projects like this, I'm hoping I can get more feedback from what the board would like to see different. If anything can help improve your ability to make decisions, like, I can make cheat sheets for you that summarizes all the materials that were submitted. Like that's what I did in my last job, and the board members there gave me positive feedback. So that's an idea I was trying to incorporate, and I look forward to working with all you guys. And I hope we can, have a long, thriving partnership.
Sounds good. Awesome.
Anything else?
Any new business?
So is there a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn the May 21st, 2024 planning board meeting.
I'll second.
Those in favor by roll call?
Just gone, so aye.
Aye.
Aye. Yeah, Russ is gone. He gone.
Hey, before you guys leave,
That's it.
sign this covenant you just approved where it says your name. Pass it around, please, and circle it back to me.
Thank you.
Oh, you can